For many who think the 1950s, think of diners, greased back hair, and Elvis Presley. However, much more happened in this decade than most remember. The 1950s was characterized by diners, Disneyland, and the space race. We chose these three events to highlight the good and the bad of the decade. Diners are the quintessential feature of the 1950s. They stand out with their bright red furniture and checkered tiles. While diners operated long before the 1950s, it was during this decade that their popularity soared. With affordable yet good food, they became a go-to hangout spot for teens. And as the baby boomer generation was born, more and more low-income Americans sought out reasonably priced food to accommodate the growing population. Diners also featured takeout food, which allowed working women to attain higher-level jobs without having to come home early and make dinner. Many diners reflected the sentiments of the nation throughout the decade, and as the public grew more and more infatuated with the space race, diners responded and themed some of their aspects after such in hopes of attracting larger crowds. Many diners featured television sets to watch news. As the space race steamed ahead, people of all ages gathered around televisions in diners to watch the breaking news.
Today, a new moon is in the sky, a 23-inch metal sphere placed in orbit by a Russian rocket.
On October, the USSR satellite Sputnik 1 becomes the first satellite to orbit the Earth. The Sputnik was launched using one of the first mainframe computer systems, originally to broadcast radio signals from the USSR. Sputnik was launched during the height of the Cold War and space race. This also puts the USSR ahead of the US in the space race and caused many people to fear the threat of nuclear warfare controlled by a Soviet satellite. The mission lasted 21 days, and the satellite was destroyed on impact when entering the Earth's orbit on January 5, 1958.
On July 17, 1955, in Anaheim, California, Walt Disney opened up the first amusement park, Disneyland. Where only 11,000 special invites were sent out, over 28,000 people ended up entering Disneyland. At first, the park was a little bit of a disaster. Rides broke down shortly after opening, and restaurants' refreshment stands ran out of food and drinks. A Gaslight and Fantasyland caused Adventureland, Frontierland, and Fantasyland to close for the afternoon. A woman's high-heel shoe got stuck in the wet asphalt of Main Street, USA, and the Mark Twain steamboat almost capsized from too many passengers. The park later evolved to accommodate more people. We chose to incorporate this event in our mural because it shows the good side of the 1950s, the culture, and how people spent their free time. Disneyland uses bright colors to show happiness. In our mural, we use many different colors to show the good and the bad side of the 1950s.
The colors used in our mural were based off of a traditional 50s diner, with the classic red booths, neon glow-in-the-dark lights, and 50s-inspired posters on the wall. The space element of the mural can be seen through the window, in order to create a more three-dimensional look, as well as using black to contrast the colors. The rules of the third, which is more of a guideline, helped us with the placement of the elements within the composition. Black and white were used for the tiles on both the floor and some of the walls to make our mural more simplistic and visually appealing. You can see how the mural is three-dimensional based on the volume and depth of the painting. As well as painting our mural as three-dimensional, we use linear perspectives to create the illusion of the space on the two-dimensional canvas.